This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
What's going on, everybody? Crispy Bacon here, and welcome to another edition of Between the Ropes here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Crispy Bacon, here with Big B. How's it going, Big B?
It's going good. Sunday is typically football day, but we all know on Coast to Coast it's also wrestling night, so we get to get in the square circle, talk some wrestling, recap a couple big days of wrestling, and also my adventure yesterday locally here watching some local wrestling. So
yeah, how did that go? I know we'll probably talk about
we're really good for for our local promotion. If anybody knows or follows me, I'm a big supporter of Midwest All-Star Wrestling, MAW as we call it. They had their big event here called Grand Slam. It's the sixth installment of that, so they had some big names for meet and greet. Kelly, Jacqueline, Doink and Dink the Clown. Scott Steiner was there. Lita. Kelly. I know I'm missing somebody. Mickey James, Jacqueline, Victoria, Mustafa Ali. One half of the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobs, was there. So, they also had some Japan stars, Jushin Thunder Liger, Bull Nakano, Sonny Ono, Ultimo Dragon. So that was the meet and greet. The matches were bangers from top to bottom. They had 3 title matches. All 3 titles changed hands. We had a nice heel turn by my guy, JDX. He turned after he lost his title. Teamed himself up with a young up-and-coming tag team called Royal Flavor, Royal Flush, I think, or somewhere around there. One of those 2 names. I know I'm going to butcher them, but it was good. Got to sit ringside, got up close and personal with some of the wrestlers as they were walking around. So it's always good to get out to indie events, support those wrestlers. You never know who you're going to see show up. Speaking of that part, I was standing in line to meet Mickey James, I think it was, and former NXT star, Minnesota native Van Wagner showed up just out of the blue with his dad. So my son got a picture with him. So, but it's always fun. I always like going to their events, any indie wrestling event. So if there's something around your neighborhood, I suggest go take it out because they definitely put on a great show.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got to do that. Wasn't Joe Henry at that event, or was that another event?
Joe Henry was at a different event, same company. So Joe Henry was at that event where he actually won the tag title. So he's half tag champ. So we know we're going to get another Joe Henry sighting here in Minnesota, but we just don't know when.
Right. It's kind of like the boxing situation where the promotion has to figure that out and all that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just more or less, they got to work around his schedule with Impact Wrestling and slash WWE. I don't know if he has any more dates booked, but we'll get him back here. It'll be a fun time.
Yeah, it will. I'm sure his schedule is open after what happened yesterday, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Speaking of the other half of the promotion, today was NXT's Halloween Havoc, and it kind of happened, through all the football action. But I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually watching that, so it was a pretty good Halloween Havoc.
Did you get through all of it, or?
Yep, got through all of it. I'm just trying to recap in my mind what happened.
So Tony, in order, Tony D'Angelo beat Omafemi in a basically a table, ladders, and chairs match, but they
Yeah.
replaced chairs with scares because it's Halloween.
Yep.
The match can only end by pinfall or submission now.
Yeah, that was a okay match. Great. I guess it was an okay match. I think it was a great opener. It wasn't too high tense. It wasn't, but it was action packed. So it wouldn't have been a match. I think that would have been the Dragon Viper, bathroom break match if it was in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, D'Angelo's family came out to help him. Of course, he retains. Femi, big dude. It'll be pretty interesting to see what the plan is without the title on him for a little bit here. So,
do you think he gets called up at some point? Maybe before the.
I don't know if he'll get called up, but I could definitely see him getting a one-shot Royal Rumble number. Maybe
number 30.
Yeah, number 30. Yeah, but I think we'll see him in the Rumble. I don't know if we'll see him called up right now. Because one thing is towards the end of the year, I don't know if WWE kind of wants to, call up guys because they're trying to build up for, what's the War Games next, then the Rumble, and then try to get WrestleMania. So, I could kind of see him after, Mania maybe getting that call up.
Yeah, I think next weekend it's going to be Crown Jewel, and we'll get to that too here in a little bit. Next on the match card,
it was a women's gauntlet match.
No, tag match.
Yeah,
you got Julia and Stephanie Vaquer going up against Roxanne and Cora Jane. I know Julia and Stephanie Vaquer are the new faces of NXT. But they did win this match against
Prez took the pin, so that's gonna even
who pinned
who wasn't that pinned? You know what? I can't remember, but that's gonna be a thing that she's going to want a title match, earned it. She beat the champ, so that'll be something that see.
My guess is probably it was Stephanie Vaquer that pinned, because I think Julia already had her title shot.
Yeah, maybe.
Came in.
Yeah, but it was a good match. There's something I gotta say, about the women's division, even women's wrestling in general, locally and on TV, is that they've really stepped up the game from back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, they really are going all out, as we say. So it'd be nice if WWE would do another all women's pay-per-view. I think would be kind of cool, but they definitely are doing their thing. And then we saw the anticipated appearance of the Australian lady. I don't know her name but
yeah, I saw the tweet that Rhea Ripley put out.
Yeah, so and we'll get back into her a little bit because she gets involved later on in the show. But
Next, your third match, Ridge Holland versus Andre Chase in an ambulance match. That
Yeah,
sounds like a big rivalry. I've seen bits and pieces, but
this was actually a pretty good match. Chase U stayed out of it, so it was pretty much a one-on-one match. Kind of shocked that Chase U took the loss, but Rich Holland's a big dude. It's that, like I said, they threw everything out there that they had, and Rich Holland walked away with the victory.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it would be a good match. I like those ambulance matches, but I am kind of surprised that Chase University wasn't out there helping Andre Chase, because it is basically a no disqualification match. So the interference wouldn't have mattered as much.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too, but maybe that's something that they'll build towards Tuesday/Wednesday, because I think this week they're Tuesday, next week they're on Wednesday for whatever reason. So
the one reason we don't talk about, but yes.
Yeah.
That's probably the only reason we would talk about it, but yes. And it's supposed to be a ECW themed event.
Yeah, that'll definitely be good.
Yeah.
That'll definitely be good.
Maybe we'll talk about that here tonight too. You got the Fallon Henley defeated Keanu Jordan by pinfall in a spin the wheel, make a deal, spinner's choice gauntlet match. I don't know who the other participants were, but
we got new women's North American champion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too up to date with the women, and I kind of feel bad. I do watch them, but they put on good. One of these days we'll have the roster nailed down. But no, it was actually a pretty good match. Interference, which cost Champ her title, so we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, and it is hard to watch every promotion, or at least just to keep up with every promotion.
Yep, I know it'd definitely be hard for Mr. One Viper on the show to watch different things.
Yeah, it's even difficult for me at times because it's like,
oh no, it is difficult to kind of flip back and forth, or try to watch that, and then of course this time of year, like we said, Chris, today was football day, so people are probably flip flopping back and forth. Mondays typically a Monday Night Football, so Raw's taking a hit. Tuesday, who knows what's going on. Now you got basketball, you got baseball, the World Series. So, if you're a sports fan, wrestling fan, you're kind of flipping through, throughout the night.
And even if you got the on demand or the DVR, it's still hard because you're like, okay, when do I find time to watch it?
Yeah.
But I'm probably going back soon, and not soon, but one day this week, and watch Halloween Havoc, because
it was overall a good, definitely good pay-per-view. I would say that probably outside of the main event, I think all the other ones would have been a good opener.
Right. And then your main event, which was a Devil's Playground match for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams defeated Ethan Page in this match. So what was the Devil's Playground?
Pretty much it was just another TLC type match. No disqualification, use whatever. They really hyped it that it was kind of like a false count anywhere. The match could end here, and it really didn't go anywhere. I don't think. I think it just kind of stayed in the arena a little bit outside. So I was kind of the way they're hyping it up. It's just like, oh, this match is going to go backstage, going to go outside, stuff like that. And so it was kind of disappointing that way. But overall, great match, great ending. Trick kept his title. Ethan Page and actually Rich Holland came back out and double team was trying to take Trick out, and then Bully Ray Dudley showed up from his interview booth or whatever you want to call it, because he was doing some backstage stuff and like sideline analyst stuff, and he came out of the nowhere and kind of even the odds. So that's another one that'll be kind of interesting to see how they play Bully Ray in the NXT.
Well, I did mention earlier that they're doing a ECW themed event in a couple weeks, and he was part of ECW. Maybe we'll see Devon.
There's funny, Chris. I wasn't even putting two to two together until you kind of said that. But yeah, I could see a, Bully Ray, Ethan Page, or Bully Ray, Rich Holland, or like you said, maybe the Dudleys versus those two, in some kind of ECW match. So yeah, it'll be pretty interesting.
And I think there's confirmation that Paul Heyman will be there.
Wow, that might be Paul. I'll be. Oh man, that's gonna be tough because. Well, I mean, I guess they could breed him out, and he could start his way back. I still think that they're, and we'll get into it with Raw and SmackDown, because my prediction's coming to light a little bit on the War Games match.
Yeah.
So, but I don't. I mean, I could see why they bring Heyman out, but I kind of hope they just let him not be on screen. I mean, he's going to be backstage. We know that.
Who not to be on screen?
Yeah.
No, who are you saying not to be on screen?
Oh, Heyman. I mean, we know Heyman's going to be backstage. We know Heyman's going to be there because that's where ECW came about from. But I hope they don't use him on stage.
You know they're going to.
Yeah. If they do, then we know they're hyping up. I mean, hopefully if they do use them, then they kind of are getting them back on camera for the Bloodline match at War Games.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the War Games match is going to happen. Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Well, and that's the thing is, yeah, we know they're coming along, and I mean, we saw, and anybody that watches Raw on Monday, I mean, we can go through the card, but if you did not think that the Bloodline was going to interfere in that match, it cost Jay the title. I would have loved to bet with you on that one because that was almost given right there. That was easy money there.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of had to drop the title Monday night to Braun Breaker.
It's not that I don't think they had to. I just think it was
storyline.
I think it was just kind of, well, I mean, they could have got into. I mean, they could have really got into the War Game. They could have put, somehow, if they would have got a title on either Roman or Solo, then you could have been like, okay, whichever Bloodline wins gets all the titles or something like that. But yeah, I think it was best for them to pull the title off of Jay.
Yeah, but then you move over to Friday on SmackDown, and you had the newest group, Motor City Machine Guns.
Yep.
They won their little tournament and got to challenge the Bloodline.
Yep.
To a tag match, and it sounded like it was going to be next week, and then the Bloodline's like, well, if you're so confident, put them up, or no, the
Yep.
Motor Machine Guns, like, if you're confident, put them up now,
Yep.
tonight, and you're like, all right, we'll call your bluff
Yep.
and
No,
put
that
it.
was a great match. Another one that was, I hate to see very predictable, but you bring in the Motor City Machine Guns. As a matter of fact, our buddy Prime Moose Tim Hendricks texted me and asked me what I thought about it. I think it was a bad move at you know for the long term because it was just too obvious that they were going to win the titles. And being that they've only had what 3 matches in
Two
WWE,
matches, 2 matches before that.
yeah. So third match they win it, so it was kind of obvious, and of course, you had Roman and Jimmy interfere, take
Yeah.
him to the back, and then you had Jay come out of the crowd interfere, which caused Motor City Machine Guns to win, and then you had the brace at the end, so the Usos are back together, so we're kind of seeing that bloodline now. Now the big question now is who's going to be the fourth? Is it going to be Jimmy or is it going to be Sammy? Is it going to be
Mhm.
Cody? Is it going to be, a couple people think it's going to be CM Punk? I have a feeling, like I said, my prediction is I think we see Sammy join them. I think the Bloodline 2.0 takes them out at War Games, and we get a phone call, and that's where we see Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Brock Lesnar is confirmed right now not to return.
Oh, he's back on the roster, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as right now, I think the lawyers are like, not right now.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
we'll see. Money talks, BS walks. We know.
True. Um, but that's kind of what happened over on SmackDown. What is your thoughts as we kind of talk Crown Jewel? Uh, about the Crown Jewel Championship.
Me and my son, talk about this, quite often. I don't know. It all depends on what they do the following year with them. So I mean, right now it's champion versus champion, best of the best. The winner of the match gets the title. So now going forward, a year from now, or whenever the next Crown Jewel is going to be, does Cody or Gunther or Liv or Nia get to defend those titles at Crown Jewel, or are they going to bring out a whole new set of titles as the second honorary match? I mean, it all depends on what they do with them. I mean, personally, I don't think WWE needs another title per se, but of course, if they want to keep promoting overseas, of course, they want their title. So, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, for right now, I mean, the titles I think look pretty cool. My son thinks they look hideous, but I think, it all depends on how they promote them going down the road, you know, and, we'll see what happens.
I like what I think Braun Strowman put on social media when these were announced, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm the reigning Ultimate or something like that Royal
Oh,
Rumble
Grand Royal
champion.
Rumble champion or something, yeah.
Yeah, for so many days. Why is my title not up for grabs?"
Yeah, there's been a few people that have kind of said that, especially when they were talking. Roman was, you know, with his title reign being the longest current one, and then of course Gunther had his Intercontinental title reign that long. Some people were joking, well, Braun Strowman's had the Grand Royal Rumble championship forever, and so
Yeah.
you know,
Uh, No, that should be interesting. And looking at the card for Crown Jewel, you have Gunther versus uh
Cody.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah,
Yep.
what were you gonna say before that?
No, I was just gonna say that. I mean, the card is stacking up to be a pretty good card. There's not a match that I could say I'm not looking for. I mean, that I'm not looking forward to seeing. I guess. I mean, they all seem pretty interesting. We'll see where the rest of the bloodline fall into place. Well, actually, they're not there, so we'll see what the tag title, not tag title, yeah, the women's tag titles. That's there. That should be a pretty good match. Both championship matches are going to be pretty solid. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed, I think, is just going to be just a barn burner. I think they're going to. I'll be surprised if that's not a no DQ match. I think they just got to let them all go out hand in hand.
Right. And then what about on the women's side? Because you got Liv Morgan and Nia Jax.
Yeah, that one's. I don't know how to think about it because you got pretty. You got two heels, going against each other. I don't know if we're going to see Rhea slip in, or see Nia, or we're going to see a cash in. I don't know. I don't know which way to feel right now. I would, if I'm a betting guy putting the odds together, I would say that we probably are going to see a cash in. I think she's going to cash in. And heck, who knows? Maybe somehow she cashes on both of them, pins them both, and she becomes a Raw and SmackDown and Crown Jewel champion. Maybe she holds all three belts at once. I don't know, but yeah, I see Tiffany Stratton cashing in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in that position, who would you want to? Hold on 1 second. Hey, Christy.
Hi.
We're just talking about
Just like a Cowboy fan to be late to a show.
Not my fault the game went on too long.
It's okay.
Yeah, no.
Blame them, not anything else.
We're talking about Crown Jewel, and what's your thoughts on just in general?
I'm not too excited for it myself.
Really?
Not really. I mean, am I looking forward to Gunther versus Cody? No. Am I looking forward to Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan? No. Probably the only match that I know I'm personally looking forward to is the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title match.
Yeah.
But that's only because I would like to see Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson win those titles.
Really?
And maybe that could result in a heel turn by either Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill.
Yeah, because in that match, it was announced this week, they had all three general managers, Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
Yeah.
So basically, I guess you could say Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are free agents.
Yeah, they are. I mean, these women's tag team titles, they can go to anyone and defend those titles anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not tied down to one brand in particular.
And then you have Damage Control, which is Kairi Sane and Io Sky. They're over at Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You have Metaphor, Lash Legend, and Jakara
They're
Jackson.
NXT.
Yeah, but I think I heard they got their call up.
I don't know if they did. I think they're representing NXT.
Yeah, they were in the crowd the other day.
Yeah, they were. So we'll really see when NXT on Tuesday on the CW if they're going to be doing anything. We only get one match on NXT for sure on Tuesday, but we'll wait until we'll probably talk about Halloween Havoc.
Yeah. Did you see Halloween Havoc?
I did. I ended up missing the first half of the game because of Halloween Havoc.
And then you also...
I was just more interested in that.
And then you also have Chelsea Green and Piper
Piper.
Niven for the
Yeah.
Fatal 4. Yeah, and I think we'll talk about the person who says that later. About some interesting
Yes.
information on that.
Interesting stuff happened to that lady in particular.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also in this match or this pay-per-view, you have Seth
Mhm.
Rollins versus Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just a
I
singles
wish he'd go
match.
up against Braun Breaker.
Who do you guys think should win that, or will win that? I should say.
Seth.
I think Seth should win it, but
You shouldn't let the
if,
referee get away
if,
with hitting him with 5 tsunamis at once.
yeah,
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5.
it all depends because if you want Bronson still to be strong,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got to go over on Seth, but you can't make Seth weak on the comeback. But so if they don't make this a disqualification match, I think it's going to end in a DQ.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think this match has to be a no disqualification match.
Right, and Seth can put Bronson Reed over and make Bronson look really good in the match. I mean, he's done it with other wrestlers before. So there's no question. I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the question is, how healthy is Seth?
I don't know.
That's the
big
question right there. Because I mean, he hasn't had a match yet. He's come back. He stopped them.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of brawled in the back a couple times.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why I'm thinking. Do you want to make it a
no DQ?
Or Falls Count Anywhere or something like that?
The Falls Count Anywhere match would be great, but you're in Saudi Arabia, and I don't know how they would feel about that type of match happening.
That is true. You are right, because I kind of didn't think about that. So you probably are looking at probably just a straight up match.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Well, they did a no disqualification match again, with Bailey and I can't remember who in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
It would be.
Yeah, and then you also have, and that was announced this week on SmackDown, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Triple H made that match.
Yes.
Despite his wanting to not announce this match.
He was caving into what Randy Orton wanted.
Well, and that's just a good storyline telling. I mean, I have to watch that part because I didn't really. I mean, I read all the highlights and stuff. I saw a little bit of the clip. So, but that's just good storytelling there. That not trying to protect you. I've been around you forever. Just trying to protect you from Kevin Owens
from yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And the thing is, I mean, we all know Orton's getting up there in age, and he's coming off of a big injury, and he's only got a few more hurrahs left. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what this one does, how they go over, if they go, who they put over. I don't know. I honestly I don't know right now who I would pick to win.
No.
I think it's a toss-up.
It's definitely either way. I think either way, it's a toss-up. No matter how you.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
This next match, I guess was, and I'm just guessing because I didn't watch it. Was announced on SmackDown's after show kind of thing. During SmackDown, we had Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes in their Game 7, Match 7.
Doing it like the NBA Finals here.
Yeah. And it kind of ended in no contest when LA Knight interfered.
Yep.
And I immediately thought they're going to go to a triple threat. And they are.
Yep.
So, in a triple threat match, LA Knight's going to defend his title against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
It kind of puts LA Knight at a disadvantage because he can be pinned by either person.
Or he doesn't have to factor into whoever wins if it's Mello or Andrade. neither one, they could pin each other and he wouldn't factor into it.
I would like to see Andrade win.
I think he's won it before though.
I don't think so.
Let me look it up real quick.
I know he's won NXT gold
He has, yes.
when he was with Zelina.
Yes.
And I don't know if Andrade won. I'm
Looking
but I
at
mean,
it here.
that's the whole
Yeah,
thing is
Here we go.
I think-
Idolo.
I think he was U.S. champion.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
yeah, that's what, yeah.
He's the current WWE Speed Champion. Whoop, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time? I'm just playing.
Yeah, and he actually did hold the U.S. Championship for several months for a short amount of time, including the pandemic. So
Yeah,
he's won it before.
I mean, all three. I mean, if you go by the hype meter or whatever, I mean, all three of them are pretty much getting a good crowd flow in there.
Yep.
Of course, Andrea has been around for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So LA Knight, he's kind of got that bad attitude, but people are behind him.
Oh yeah.
And then now you got the young buck coming up, Carmelo Hayes.
Yep. He's like he says, when he shoots, he don't miss.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, how do you book it? How do you come up with it?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those. If you want Carmelo to stay hot, you give him the title.
Mm-hmm.
If you want Andrade or LA Knight to kind of keep the feud going, you can put them on the title. If you have Knight lose the title, what's that do for him going forward?
Sure.
So I mean so I think if I'm them, I put him on Hayes and let Hayes try to run it for a little bit.
You give him a chance.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
No,
And then
not.
probably the end crown jewel. Roman Reigns and the Usos, they reunited. Going up against this version of the Bloodline.
Bloodline verse off of Wish.com.
Yeah. Going up against
Are they doing a 6-man tag yet?
They are.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was announced yet.
Solo, Tomatonga, Tongaloa, or Jacob Fatu. I'll see if I can find how that match is coming about, but
right now, Bloodline's the Bloodline off of Wish.com is fuming over the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa losing their tag team titles to Motor City Machine Guns on SmackDown on Friday.
Yep.
What did you think of that, Christy?
I felt like, okay, I get it. Motor City Machine Guns, they're the new guys on the block, but they have the experience. But did I feel it was too early for them to challenge for those titles right here, right now? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, can we just wait until Crown Jewel is over and then you can do that? But they just wanted to get those titles off of Tongaloa and Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, so they could focus on the what they're going up against now is the OG Bloodline with Roman and the Usos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. Motor City Machine Guns won. I'm happy for them, but that's like 3 matches into their time in WWE.
Yep.
You're already giving them titles. I'm like, does that make any sense? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy there.
It's confusing.
Yeah. But who do you think will win it?
I don't know. I would think if you really want to set this up for Survivor Series War Games, you might have Solo's Bloodline beat the OG Bloodline just to set that whole thing up.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was booking it, I would probably have Solo's Bloodline win at Crown Jewel, and then have Roman's Bloodline win at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I mean,
JO's to go back to Raw.
So I mean, there's still one down a person. So I mean, I guess you could put, as Christy calls it, the bloodline from
off of
Timu.
Wish.com.
Yeah, the Timu bloodline.
The Timu bloodline.
You put them over because they got that extra person, so they can interfere, win, and then Roman and the Usos can come out and say that.
You're gonna have Solo and both Tom and the Gorillas of Destiny do that 6-man tag team. Roman and the Usos would be at a disadvantage because if you don't have Jacob Fatu in the match, he can jump in and be a deciding factor.
Yep. No, and that's the whole thing is that you got the fourth guy being the deciding factor, or you keep Solo out of it. Solo then interferes. You still get the same outcome, and then Roman challenges them to a War Games where they get 4, we get 4.
There's already 4 of you. We just need one more person, so that odds are even. So everything is even.
Yep.
And that's where I think the rumored 4th person, Sami Zayn, might come into it.
Yep.
I mean, I won't believe Sami jumped. I won't believe that Sami is joining in until I actually see it on Raw or Raw, I think.
Well, they don't have long to figure that out.
No, they don't. No. They got about a month, I think, until they have to head north of the border for Survivor Series to Vancouver.
And I could see that being Sami Zayn. I do.
Yeah.
Canada. He's Canada.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. It's Canada, so you get the hometown boy in there. But I still, if I'm them, because you still got to remember they got to, avenge Heyman's, getting demolished by them, and you got Roman. So you bring the original guys in. But you somehow Sammy gets jumped into his hometown, and I think then you're gonna get either CM Punk or I still say Brock Lesnar, but we'll see.
We'll see.
And you mentioned NXT.
I did.
They're gonna have their ECW.
NXT 2300.
Yeah,
at the ECW arena.
And it's going to be at the old. Like 20.
Let's just call it the house that Heyman built.
It's going to be at. And Paul Heyman's supposed to be, be there. So.
Supposed to be there because he was one of the big reasons the ECW became what it became. It was because of him.
Yep.
He's gonna be there. I heard rumor of Bubba Ray Dudley, or not Bubba, Billy Ray.
Bully Ray. Whichever name you want to refer to.
Yeah.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
But anyway, he's supposed to be there.
It'll be interesting to see who they kind of bring in for that.
Yeah.
So
I think based on tonight's Halloween Havoc, I think I got a pretty good idea what they're going to do with Bubba Ray Dudley. They might pair him up with the NXT champion Trick Williams to go up against Ridge Holland, and the man Trick defeated tonight All Ego Ethan Page in a tag team match. So there's one match I think could happen at NXT 2300.
Yeah.
On November 6th. So I think we're going to get that. As for everything else, I think we'll just let this thing just develop.
Do we see both Dudleys?
I don't know if we get both Dudleys. I'm not sure. Because I know Bubba Ray Dudley and Dave LaGreca were there. They do Busted Open Radio on Sirius Satellite Radio together, and Ridge Holland was talking smack, and that's why Bubba Ray Dudley got in the ring and started beating up him and All Ego Ethan Page after they attacked Trick Williams.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It will. And what's your thoughts, Chrissy, on Halloween Havoc?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, the tag team match was between Julia and Stephanie Vacour versus Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade was pretty good. I think Julia hit Cora a little too hard with the knee because some were saying you might have seen a tooth come out of Cora's mouth.
Oh.
There was that. Well, I mean, I've watched some footage of Julia in Stardom, and this woman hits hard. I mean, hard. I'm not kidding. And it looked like Stephanie Vacour, was really the star of that match, and she got to pin Roxanne. And Stephanie Vacour is really really good as well. So, and then Kalani Jordan lost her NXT Women's North American title to Fallon Henley of the faction Fatal Influence, but then ended with the new gal in NXT. I think it's Zarya is her name.
Yep.
Knocked all three of those women out, and I'm like, oh, I think I know what she wants. Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I saw the tweet Rhea Ripley posted.
Oh yeah, Zarya's from
about good to
like
see
Rhea Ripley. Yeah.
Right.
And so I mentioned Trick Williams beat All Ego Ethan Page for the NXT title, which was great. And excuse me. And then I know the show did start off with Tony D'Angelo versus Oba Femi for the NXT North American title in what they called a tables, ladders, and scares match. I'm like, this isn't scary. What are you talking about? But Tony D'Angelo retained that championship, so I was glad. I think it's time for Oba Femi to move on up to bigger and better things like the NXT championship, which would be nice.
Or maybe the main roster. Maybe they thought
that too. I mean, I don't
yet.
know. To be honest, I don't know how much further he can really go. And I think it's the same with Ethan Page. How much further can either of these guys go? I mean, is there really anything else they can do?
Yeah.
You've already impressed enough people that you got them talking. Wow, could you imagine the matchups these two could each have on the main roster?
And I think by Royal Rumble time, because that's usually when you kind of see, NXT stars kind of somewhat be called up.
They start getting called up, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes after Mania. I've even heard after SummerSlam is another one.
Yeah, but we're not. I mean,
we're not at that point yet. No, and so I'd say I think we get the start. Some NXT call up starting around Royal Rumble time.
Yeah, and just kind of test the waters to see how they react.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to talk TNA because they had their event
Bound for Glory, yeah.
Yeah, you guys. I saw I saw the results. I didn't see it because I was busy at a different wrestling event. But
yeah, no, I was keeping an eye on it in between, just watching other things. So I kept checking Twitter.
You had Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance. Defeated. I'm thinking it's formerly Xia Li, but Xia Brookside.
Xia Brookside, and I think it's Brinley Reese. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Brookside, pretty much Xia Li, right?
No.
Or what? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Never mind.
No, it's okay.
I just saw Xia, so I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. I think she is in TNA. But...
Yes, Xia Li is in TNA. The match is between Xia Brookside, Brinley Reese versus the two ladies by Elegance. I'm not a fan of it. I'm sorry, I might be coming off Dragon Viper like when I say that.
No. Then you had it was a tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Frankie
Kazarian.
Yeah. Won against Rhino in a 20-person intergender call your shot gauntlet match. The winner receives a trophy and a contract. They can invoke anytime within 1 year for a championship match of their choosing, also known as the NXT Money in the Bank. But they can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds the call your shot thing. It sounds like it's TNA's version of Money in the Bank, except they're using a contract, not a briefcase.
Right.
Yeah.
In the match, you had Rhino, of course.
He went into the TNA Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And you also had AJ Francis in the match. There's others, but as far as like former wrestlers we kind of know, I'm sure there's more, but those two kind of
Probably.
stand out. In that match, you also had Mike Bailey defeating El Hero. I can't even.
Vikingo. Let's just call him
Thank you.
Vikingo.
Yeah.
No problem.
That
Still the
was
X Division. X Division
Yeah.
Championship. Yeah.
Just
Vikingo, I've watched him at AEW, and this guy, his moves in the ring are just mind-blowingly crazy. I mean, I watch him and my jaw's about ready to fall off my face every time I watch him. He's just so good.
And on the women's side, you had their X Division TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. You have Spitfire, Jody Threat,
tag team.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jody Threat and
Danny
Daniel
Luna.
Laura, or Luna.
Yeah.
They defeated Rosemary and Wendy Chu.
Yeah.
Then Rosemary, I believe, turned on Wendy Chu.
She did. Pretty much speared Wendy Chu in half.
Huh.
I mean, funny thing, speaking of Wendy Chu, she now has a match against Tatum Paxley in a casket match on NXT 2 days before Halloween.
Or after?
Yeah, because no, it's 2 days before. It's the 29th, I think. Let me look at my calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 29th. Yeah, today's the 27th. Yeah, it's the 29th. So 2 days before Halloween. Because, yeah, basically, Tatum Paxley was in a box at Halloween Havoc and freaked out Booker T when he and Vic Joseph were talking about the Devil's Playground match at Halloween Havoc. So we got that. But
you have in the singles match, Josh Alexander defeated Steve Macklin by technical submission.
There were moments, I think, Macklin had his hands tied behind his back, and he was doing crazy stuff on Josh Alexander before losing, of course. But yeah, if you can wrestle with your arms tied behind your back, I guess you could pretty much do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a Monsters Ball match for the TNA Digital Championship and International, Heavyweight Wrestling Championship, and PCO was going up against Matt Cardona, also known as Zack Ryder.
Yeah, Matt Cardona came out wearing a sleeveless Ghostbusters jumpsuit.
Is that what it's called, the Monsters Ball match?
I don't know. I guess it's because there's just a lot of different things. There was doors involved.
So the Monster Ball match came about back years ago.
Around. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the Monster Ball match came back years ago when Abyss was like big in that. You know, it was kind of their version of like Hell in the Cell or stuff that Taker kind of Undertaker matches.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it would make sense for PCO to have that.
Yeah.
Just Mike Santana defeated Moose by pinfall.
Yep.
This was just a singles match.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, will Moose get another chance at a title of some kind? I mean, we'll find out eventually.
Next you have for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Interesting one. You know that Jordan Grace was the championship, right?
Yes.
Now it's Masha
Slamovich.
I remember she was in the tag team. Which that kind of confirms a little bit, maybe a roster call up. I know her contract
expires in January.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, let's see.
They got moved.
Yeah.
Right?
So with about 3 months left, I guess it was agreed upon that Grace would drop the title to Masha Slamovich.
Yep.
And,
so the rumor is that the title or the contract was supposed to end, I think, end of this year, early next year, but it sounds like Grace and the powers to be have agreed to annul that contract and let her become a free agent. So
and she did cancel her OnlyFans. So
Right.
there you go.
I mean, because if she's going to WWE, there is no way they're going to allow her to do that.
And
To
that's
do what?
pretty much
OnlyFans?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
the thing that
They got
Former.
Mandy Rose in trouble,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
With the ultra sexy content she was posting that was making her more money than what she was making with WWE. Yeah, they were like, they won't allow that.
Nick Nemeth had a championship match for the TNA World Championship. And one, you seem very angry.
I am, and I'll tell you what.
Yeah. And defeated Joe Hendry.
Oh God.
And in the little wrinkle, Frankie Kazarian was the special guest referee.
Side note, he's not the reason I'm mad about this match.
Is it one JBL?
Yes, it's JBL. Son of a.
What happened?
He just walked in and just clotheslined everybody. And even clotheslined Nick Nemeth's brother, Ryan. And then I guess he put Nick Nemeth on top of Joe Hendry to pin him, and Nemeth retained the title. When I think the people were more in favor of Joe Hendry winning. I mean, say his name, he appears. I mean, I believed it. JBL showing up, I'm like, what the hell? What?
Yeah.
Why? JBL, what do you have to gain from this? What is your vested interest in this? Are you just bored and have nothing better to do?
Yeah, I mean,
is retired life boring to you?
It's interesting that he is still part of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
But
what does he have, like a Legends contract or something with him?
I think there's an agreement that you can jump around contract or companies, but you can't use your WWE name.
Right. So he just calls himself, John Bradshaw Layfield is what he would normally be calling WWE, but everywhere else he'd have to be JBL, and that's it.
And I think they can't sell merch.
No, they can't.
But he can appear.
Yeah. He showed up.
Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Hendry was, like some others, he benefited from the partnership between WWE and TNA.
Oh,
hey,
I mean, the thing is,
if Joe Hendry's going to WWE, okay, that's cool, but
but the thing is, WWE didn't capitalize. I mean, okay, they brought Joe Hendry in, got a new following.
Mm-hmm.
NXT has Joe Hendry. They, it's like they get there, they're pumping him up, and then they don't give him the title and stuff like that. I mean, look how long it took Jey Uso Jay to get the IC title. I mean, Joe Hendry shows up in Minnesota. Yeah. Joe Hendry shows up in Minnesota at a local event here, becomes half of the MAW Tag Team Champions. So we know he's coming to Minnesota again. So,
I mean, even Joe Hendry had an NXT Championship match against All Ego Ethan Page, and he ended up losing.
Yeah.
Which that didn't make any sense because he's probably this year alone, Joe Hendry is the most over wrestler out there in the world of professional wrestling. I mean, you can't get away. He's hard to ignore. I mean, if it's a song, if it's not a song, it's what he's saying it's his tweets on social media. That's sort of it. Yeah. I mean, he'll even quote a tweet saying like McDonald's believes in Joe Hendry, and he'll do the clapping hands emoji to kind of let them know he approves of that. He's kind of hard to avoid. He's really hard to avoid.
Yep.
And I just feel like in this instance, TNA just did not want to pull the trigger on him in particular, knowing that they probably would gain a lot of fans who know who Joe Hendry is and probably don't watch either TNA or NXT for that matter.
Even NFL stars know who Joe Hendry is.
Yeah.
Most of them don't know.
I think it was in a video. He's saying, "I believe in Joe Hendry."
Yeah. And
I heard George Kittle of the Niners was like the biggest WWE fan in the NFL knows who Joe Hendry is.
I mean, Cowboys are saying that they believe they want to be like Joe Hendry so they can hold a title. So
true.
Yeah.
But two people that do believe in Joe Hendry are the Hardys.
Yeah.
They went up against the System.
And Joe Hardy was their tag team, was their partner for that match.
Yeah.
And I think they even I think Matt and Jeff went to a game with Joe Hardy or with Joe Hendry, I think.
Yep.
They got shown on the big screen and people really liked what they saw. So
there was a 3-way full metal mayhem match for the TNA World Tag Team Championship.
oh man, that was the craziest. And we lost
crazier than any other match they've been in.
Probably.
I'd
say it's one of them. They've had a lot of crazy matches, like their 2017 return to WrestleMania. And they did the ladder match, and that was nuts. But
Right.
no, but shocker, Matt and Jeff won. They won, and I even saw a TikTok video by Matt Hardy's wife, Rebby, showing how she put together, like, her and the kids in the movie room of their house were watching the match on their big screen, I guess, eating snacks and everything like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So they look like, I'm like, wow, I'd like to hang out at your house when this sort of stuff happens.
I'd like to see them back in WWE. I know they want to go after the NXT titles.
Yeah, because they haven't won those yet. But I'm wondering if the Hardys showing up in NXT would actually hurt that brand or help them.
I mean,
they had Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods go down there, and they won the NXT tag team titles, thus cementing the New Day as, I guess it's Grand Slam tag team champions, if there is such a thing.
For what?
Well, I know they had the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston go down to NXT. They win the NXT tag team titles. But if the Hardys went down there and they won them, would it help or would it hurt?
It'd probably help, I think, their legacy.
Probably. But would it help the brand? I mean, the guy running it is Shawn Michaels, and I mean, I don't know what his history with the Hardys is. I mean, I went through years where I didn't watch a lot of wrestling, so I'm not 100% aware of like what certain wrestlers' history are with others.
I mean, they both, I should say, fought for a while in WWE and all that.
Okay.
I know they were up there or in WWE like in the like the Attitude Era a little bit.
Yes, a little bit.
So, but who knows what will happen?
True.
With that. So, anything else going on in wrestling?
Well, also they got AEW their pre-Halloween episode. They're calling it Fright Night Dynamite, and there's already, I think there's like one big match already booked. It's Shelton Benjamin versus Swerve Strickland. So that should be pretty interesting. I mean, it makes me wonder, is Bobby Lashley going to show up or not? I'm not 100% sure. I've heard full gears that maybe Lashley will show up. I mean, I'm not 100% certain. So, like I said, won't know until I see it.
Yeah, it's up in the air.
It is. It's up in the air. But that's really all I've got, really.
Yeah, they're going to be in Cleveland. And then they're going to Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, back to Pennsylvania,
and then
New Jersey.
Full Gear's going to be in Newark, New Jersey.
And then Wednesday, if you go, it's a 2-pack. You get Dynamite and Collision in Chicago.
Ooh.
And then to end...
Chicago fans, you are so lucky.
And then to end, you have Indiana.
Yeah.
With no Pat McAfee.
No.
Although he will probably attend.
He might. As long as he's not shown on camera, he'll be fine.
They want to be back.
I mean, will he talk about it on his radio show maybe like the day after? I'm not 100% sure if he will, if he does.
Hey, I went to a wrestling show that will not be named. And
or hashtag I don't want to overreact, but did you see McAfee at this wrestling show? He said that's not WWE. What the hell is he doing?
I am Rat McAfee. Something like that.
But yeah.
I don't know.
The other big WWE news is Samantha Irvin no longer in WWE.
Yeah.
There was
Nope.
supposedly she told them a few hours. She's actually had been planning to walk away from WWE for months, actually. And then she later explained in some tweets why, because she wanted to do more than just be a ring announcer. Even though she's an excellent, she was an excellent ring announcer. She wanted to do more. Like she wanted to be her real life fiance Ricochet's valet or his manager. She wanted to have more of a role in WWE than just being a ring announcer, and they just wouldn't let her do it. And she has ambitions outside of WWE to do music, because I saw a video online of her from a show called I Can See Your Voice.
Yeah,
God,
that was on
that
Fox,
woman can
right?
she can sing. She has got an incredible voice. And
I
she
think
can play the flute as well, so she's really good at that. So,
and didn't she do the Raiders national anthem or
yeah,
Steelers
she did.
national anthem?
She did. I mean, like I said, that woman can sing. What I mean, oh my God, what a voice! What a voice!
I think she was on The Voice.
No, she was on America's Got Talent.
Okay, that's right.
She was on America's Got Talent. If she was on The Voice, I would have found out. I would have found out about it, because I still try and watch that show. Try to watch that show as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I don't. I've kind of slacked off on that in recent years. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if, say, Samantha parks herself in a recording studio and records like an incredible album and releases an incredible single that will probably be streaming on like Spotify and all that. Because, like I said, that woman can sing. Woof.
But I think that's all we got for.
Yep, I think so.
This edition of Between the Ropes. Any final thoughts?
I'll just thank everyone for watching. I know I came in late, but when there's a football game on, I want to finish watching it. But
yeah, that's fine.
But
I
just know there's going to be a lot more. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening this week in wrestling. So.
Oh yeah. And we'll cover it all next week. For Between the Ropes. Join us next week for that episode and all of our great shows on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. With that, have a great week.
Good night.